As we begin our Adventures in Prosperity 2023, Joyful Abundance, we decided to have a little bit of fun with it this morning, featuring Bijou Barbosa and the Mile High Band.
Hey, it's the announcement guy. I'm at a youth event over here in the parking lot at Mile High. It's incredible how many families we got here, young families. It's so good to see them all here doing stuff, having a good time and getting to meet each other. So show up here anytime. We're open every Sunday. Here's what's coming up.
Our spiritual education here at Mile High Church is all about you. It's about how to improve relationships, how to improve finances, how to improve self-care and our outlook on the world. When you take a class at Mile High Church, you are engaging in our teaching to change your thinking and change your life. And in the meantime, you meet great people and benefit them as well. I'm so grateful this spring term to be teaching Beyond Limits, our basic class where we explore an introduction to all things spiritual. But we have some other things on the calendar as well. Check them out.
On May 7th, from 11:30 to 1, Reverend Jackie Harris will present her workshop, Service as a Spiritual Practice in our Community Center. This is a love offering, pay what you wish workshop. Learn how being of service benefits those we serve, as well as benefiting us in the process.
Hello, Dr. Roger here, inviting you to our upcoming Meditation and Prayer Retreat, June 8th through 11. Now, these retreats not only deepen our spiritual practices, they are really about spiritual renewal. They're so rich in so many ways. I pray that you will come be with us and give yourself the gift of a spiritual reset. So get right on it, join us. You'll be so glad you did.
So I'm here at the Easter extravaganza. Kids are collecting eggs, playing all kinds of games, just doing stuff. It's great to be here, to be together, and to enjoy springtime. We're growing. Have a great week.
So you could hold me. This child awaits, strong in the faith. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to. 'Cause I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by without thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life. And ooh, there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so deep I can never get enough of you. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. When troubles seem to rain on my dreams, it's not a big deal. Let it wash all the bugs off the windshield. 'Cause you're showing me in you I'm free, and you're still the refuge that I've just got to get to. So I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by. So put the drop top down, turn it up, I'm ready to fly. And ooh, there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so true, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong, I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away, it's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got no need to worry, I got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong, I'm about to get my worship on. I'm gonna sing a brand new song, yeah. I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away, it's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jennifer Burnett. It is a beautiful day. What a great start. 2 amazing songs to start us off. Thank you so much from Jennifer and our Mile High Band. It is a beautiful day, isn't it? Yes. Welcome to this beautiful day. Oh, my dress has gotten glitter all over the stage. Oops. Welcome to Mile High Church. Welcome to those of you watching online. It is a beautiful day for us to be together. I'm so grateful that you are here with us. One of the things that I love about this teaching and this community is that we teach spiritual living, which means that we're all about bringing the spiritual into every area of our living. Not just some, but every area. And then we live spiritual teaching as we practice and walk through our lives with that new awareness. So thank you for bringing your awareness and being part of the opportunity that we have to be a beneficial presence on this beautiful planet and make a difference. And our community is endeavoring always to make a huge difference with the vision and mission that we have, how we see ourselves being in this world and making a contribution. And so I invite you to recite our vision and mission with me as we begin our service. Let's start first with our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. What a joy it is to witness these ideals, high ideals, and to live them out together. And we're going to step into some time of spiritual practice now. We invite you to take a deep breath, to go within. We're going to sing together. We're going to have some silence, and we're going to pray together. Reverend Zamira will lead us in prayer. Let us begin.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
We open our hearts right now, breathing into that still point within, feeling that peace at the center of our being, feeling and knowing that God is everywhere present. Spirit is all there is, the eternal essence and presence of the One. And as we breathe in and out through the heart space this morning, we connect with that heartbeat of the divine right here in this moment. And I recognize that that heartbeat of the divine moves in through and as myself and every one of us here, all of humanity. And we recognize and honor that golden thread of truth this morning that moves through all faith traditions, recognizing that there are those who are in devotion on a mountaintop, in nature, in an ashram, in a tabernacle, in a gurdwara, in a monastery, in a church. And I give thanks for this opportunity to gather together today in this beloved community of Mile High Church. Just feeling and knowing that current of love that is the divine in action, moving in and through each one of us here, moving in and through each one who is joining us online, and moving in and through around this beautiful planet. And this morning, as we step into the abundance, the celebration of abundance and prosperity in all ways, I absolutely know and affirm that God is that abundance that we are each one anchoring in right here. For that abundance is infinite, that abundance is eternal. And I know that God is the source from which all things bloom, grow, develop, expand. All form moves from this origin of the one. And so I give thanks for this opportunity this morning through the gift of Dr. Michelle's message, that we're able to feel the depth of that prosperity, the depth of that abundance in all ways, infiltrating out picturing in our lives in every way possible. And I also know that that abundance is love. And so as we connect with that essence and presence of love, we send that out. And if there's a heart that wants to receive that essence of love, we send that out right now. Just knowing that that flow of the divine is so vast, is so rich, and is so deep. So I give thanks. I give thanks for this service and for this opportunity to gather together in the one. And it's with that depth of gratitude I release these words into that alchemy of love that is the law in action, so that we can all affirm together, and so it is.
Will this day I be a blessing? Will this year be better than the last? Will I calm the voice that hounds me? Discard the demons of the past? Will I step out in my faith now? Live the truth I've come to know? Throw my dreams into the river and let these 4 words help them flow, singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Maybe it's a body that needs healing, a relationship that's worn, or a child that is in trouble. There's a friendship that's been torn. Here's a job that needs new vision, a bank account that needs belief. I don't gotta tell you all my problems, I just gotta rest in your relief, singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Let me hear you now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe.
reading this morning is from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. How can we receive what the mind refuses to entertain? Should we not then consciously develop the ability to receive more? We make life little and mean and limit our own possibilities when we refuse to accept the whole gift of God. We should open our consciousness to a receptivity of the divine. There will never be any point of saturation because God is infinite. We cannot contract the infinite, but we can expand the finite. Today I ask and know that I shall receive. Today I seek and know that I shall find. Today I know and know that it shall be opened unto me. But what is it that I ask for? What is it that I really seek? It is to discover God in everything, to see the divine manifest in everyone, to come into close and conscious communion with life. Today, then, I receive the gift of God in its fullness, unstinted and complete.
Never receiving anything from God at all. Well, they are shaken in their believing. When they don't see results, they quickly fall. But don't you waver, you keep on living in the way God wants you to. Don't get discouraged, just keep on giving. Soon it will come back to you. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. Keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. Just keep on working, seeking the kingdom, instead of working for your needs. You gotta keep on sharing the love of spirit. It'll grow and come from planting seeds. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home on every wave. You gotta keep on casting your net upon the water. Soon it's gonna come back home. I said it's gonna come back home. You know it's gonna come back home on every way.
Whoa! Not only is she a brilliant singer, she can dance on those little shoes. I think that's pretty awesome. Jennifer Burnett and our wonderful band, Kent and Rob and Mike and Bijou. Yes, thank you, thank you. How fun. Oh boy. Well, before I get started with my message for today, I do want to lend my voice to the invitation to get into classes. We have so many wonderful classes starting. Josh is going to be teaching our Beyond Limits. That's the entry point into classwork if you've not done that before. And then we've got Reverend Carol teaching the Prayers of Spiritual Practice class on Mondays, and Reverend Michelle is going to be teaching Journey of the Soul, and I'm going to be teaching Principles of Financial Freedom. I really want to invite all of us to consider taking a deeper walk with bringing financial freedom and abundance together in our consciousness. And this class is a great class for that. It's an 8-week class. It starts Tuesday night here in person, and we'll be talking about the nature of the divine and then applying those principles to our own financial lives together in a very meaningful way. So please consider joining me for that. And it's a perfect timing due to our beginning of our series right now, our annual Adventures in Prosperity series. I just love the look of this series with its beautiful spring flowers, and you can see the elephant is the symbol of our series. We had a committee that works every year, that comes together, a different group of people to vision about the series. We start in about February to plan for it, to really think about it and pray over it, and we came up with the theme, Joyful Abundance. Joyful abundance, because we really wanted to invite ourselves and everyone who would listen into a joyful sense of the nature of abundance in life. And we chose the elephant because the elephant is a symbol of luck and a symbol of fortune. And in certain cultures, the elephant Ganesh is the remover of all obstacles, so that we can remove obstacles out of our way from experiencing greater abundance. And then I also realized that we're going to talk a little bit about money even today, so get prepared. And for many of us, money is the elephant in our spiritual room. And so we're going to do some of that. I want to introduce our team that worked hard to bring this whole series together, not only for Sundays, but many other activities for our donors throughout the next month. And so our team consisted of Kent Rautenstrauss, Tom Litch, yes, Reverend Jackie Harris, Karen Thomas, who's in our store today, Lindsay Portancaso, and Sarah Shin. If any of you are here, stand up so we can acknowledge you. Yes, and I have more. Denise Simone, who works here for us and is also a ministerial retreat. She's in ministerial school. Stacy Butters, our youth director. Mark Pino, who's, I think here, there he is, and he's our donor development relations director for the foundation and also serves our general fund. And our board treasurer, Lynn Martin, also. Are you here, Lynn? There she is in the back. Thank you so much. Wonderful team. It's been a blast. They're very creative, and it's been so fun working with them. Now, I want to talk briefly about this series. It has a purpose in the life of our church. Throughout the year, we do talk about principles of abundance in our talks, and we bring quotes and stories to encourage people to practice living abundance. And we stop at this time every year to do it purposely, to spend 3 weeks in our service really honing our abundance consciousness, our abundance skills. This is for the purpose of our belief in this teaching that everyone on this planet can live an abundant life, not only financially, but in every way. Indeed, our committee defines abundance as more than enough of the things that we would like to live our best life. So it can mean more friendship, can mean more opportunities, more time. I know that's the one I sometimes have my most challenging. I need more time to get things done. So an abundance of time, an abundance of health and well-being, an abundance of joy, an abundance of financial good. Wherever it is that we might in our life struggle feeling there's not enough of, that's where we want to concentrate and bring these abundance principles into play in our life and invite people to do that so that we can all live abundantly. And the theory is that the more humans on this planet who live in the center of that true abundance, the happier we all are and the greater our planet can be. We can all thrive on this planet together. And we believe that fervently. And so we're inviting people into that conversation. And there's also an element of this is the time of the year for our church. Our church is a spiritual community, and we also have an element of business. And we do business from a spiritual perspective. We try to be a living example of what it means. For those of you who are in business and have business, what does it mean to be a spiritual business, expressing oneself in the world? And so all of our departments are putting together budgets that we present to a board of trustees that are elected by you all as the members of the community to say we want to be good stewards of the financial good that comes our way. So we invite people into the practice of abundance for themselves, for the good of the world, and for the good of our church. So when you came in, you might have been hopefully given this giving card of intent. This is also a twofold activity. Part of practicing abundance or part of living anything out that we want more of in our life has to do with setting an intention for it. Edwin Gaines, the great spiritual teacher on abundance, used to say, you don't just call up Sears and what was their name? Sears and Roebuck, and say, just send me something. Just send me something. You set an intention. You know what you want to buy, right? So if you're someone who wants to experience greater financial upliftment in your life, this tool is a tool to set an intention for yourself about your income over the next 12 months starting June 1st, because July 1st, that's when our fiscal year happens, and to then determine if and how much you might want to generate in generosity to give to our church. And that helps you set an intention for yourself and helps our church plan and know that we've got people who are willing to invest and say yes to our community. The amount doesn't matter, whatever amount it is, if it's $5 or whatever it is, it's just setting that intention and being in partnership. This activity isn't for everybody. I totally admit if you're brand new to our community and you're still getting clear about who we are and what we do, this may not be for you. This is for those of us who are fans of this community, who want to see it continue to thrive and are willing to do so by sharing with the leadership, I want Mile High to continue to thrive, and here's what I plan to do. So you can take this home, you can pray over it, you could fill it out today, give it to, we have a board member in the lobby at a table, you can give it to them, you can give it to any of the volunteers and turn it in. And I want to call your attention to one other element. We have over 400 people who are what we call auto givers here at Mile High Church. They've set things up so that their gift just automatically is given to the church on a monthly basis. And there is a little box here you can check if you'd like to join the auto givers and be someone who does that. Reverend Jackie and her team will be happy to reach out to you. So we hope you will join us with this, and we have a couple of weeks to continue to pray over it and be with it and decide if that's for you. So that's a part of this program too. And this is also, this joyful abundance is this invitation to not be so serious about abundance. I need more friends in my life, gosh darn it. I need to get my health in order. Well, I need more money, boy. And I know that these are serious topics, especially that money one that goes to our sense of security and well-being. Sometimes we get a little panicked about money. So this week we're going to talk about the overall idea of how to step into, does God love abundance is today's topic. What's the spiritual center of abundance and how to be with abundance in all realms, including money and financial abundance? And so I believe that one of the first things we have to take a look at is a rumor that's been being spread for eons amongst human beings. Rumor has it that some beings and some traditions believe that to be prospered by God means the deepest level of humility possible, which means living small, means not having things. And in this day and age, I can see how some of us are very triggered by the degree of materialism that's going on. We hear the statistics about how many people now have the wealth that appears to be on the planet versus the rest of us, and it can feel very disproportionate and unequal, and we can start to resent those greedy people. And probably a bunch of them are greedy. And greed is equated to me with scarcity and fear, because there are others who have lots of it and they're spreading it around. I love the stories I'm hearing about very wealthy Dolly Parton, who is giving money away right and left to help other people. And so the bottom line is, we don't know, unless we know for sure that some billionaire is not doing good work in the world. The minute we hear that they're a billionaire, sometimes that skeptic in us can start to assume that they're greedy and they're living too big for their britches. And I wonder if that belief or that projection might be tied to some part of us that believes that the most spiritual people don't need anything. The most spiritual people don't need money. They don't need clothing. They don't even need a house over their head. The most spiritual people wander through the world and don't need anything physical at all. And the more spiritual you are, the less you need to have. There's that kind of humble feeling. And so for those of us who are spiritual seekers, if we've got any of that going on inside of us, the minute we start to talk about or think about or look at acquiring more, becoming more abundant in some area of life, especially financially, that guilty feeling can take us down if we've fallen prey to it. That's probably why I never became a nun when I was a Catholic, because it didn't really resonate too much with me, I will have to say. And the more I've studied it and looked at it, and I understand there are some deeply, profoundly mystical and spiritual people who have lived a purposefully austere life. They have withdrawn from society, withdrawn from the systems and the cultures, and gone into their inner world. And many of them have written and told of amazing experiences. We just finished a class, some of the practitioners and I, where we studied 3 female mystics, and all 3 of them lived that life. And they didn't have anything, and they revered poverty. One of them even basically starved herself because she thought God would bless her more if she didn't eat and didn't care about things of the world. And I understand that that life can have its spiritual benefits, but it's not for everyone. And what I would say is the God of our understanding doesn't need for us to live that way in order for us to feel and be blessed and experience it. One of the main culprits in this narrative and in this rumor has been beliefs that people have articulated about the great teacher Jesus. A belief that he was himself poor and wandering the desert in his ministry and suffered from poverty. But that is not the truth as we know it. If we read about the writers who wrote about him, and if we hear the words of experts who studied that time and his time, they would say quite the opposite, that Jesus and his family were fairly well off. And that even though Jesus never said, hey guys, I'm poor, or hey, I have lots of money, he never said that in any of the Gospels that we know of. The main thing that many people point out, and that I have felt all my life, is he always had what he needed, wherever he went. Not only for him, but all the people who followed him around. All the disciples and all the people who were with them, all the women who were in his tribe, they had plenty. Wherever they went, they were welcomed, they were fed, they were housed, they were clothed. And even we hear at the end of his life, a wealthy man made a way for him to be buried in his tomb, and the guards fought over his garment. I think that Jesus knew that God was his source, and what he needed would come to him when he needed it. And it did. And I think that's what we're talking about, that the God that we believe in does not require of you or I to sacrifice ourselves. It doesn't demand that we become wealthy celebrities or gazillionaires or anything like that. What we're invited to do is to discover what our truth is. What's our greatest life? What makes us feel happy and content? And there will be some who will be blessed with an abundance of money or wealth or things. And there will be others who will find their center and live a simple life where everything that they need is provided for. And so we get to determine what is ours in that dance of life. What feels best to us? When do we feel most content? And recognize there's no God up there saying, well, I'm going to bless you. Here's $1 gazillion. You win, but you lose. I don't like you so much. There's not a God doing that. There's not a God testing us and saying, well, I'm going to make sure that they're tested well by making sure they experience poverty. That's not the God that we understand or believe to be true. Indeed, it's actually a God of profound abundance. And abundance is everywhere. We can see that abundance is everywhere we look. And if we look around our beautiful earth, all that we could ever require has been provided for us. All that we could ever require has been provided for us. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, talks often about the self-givingness of the divine. That whatever it is that created this earth and created all that was here, there's more than enough. Now, humans have come and created systems of bartering and exchange and financial good and systems for acquiring things, and that's all fine and dandy. And yet, all of it still falls into the realm of energy and welcoming and consciousness. And if we approach it with joyfulness, we are in the square center of the way in which the divine has sought to deliver all of this good to all of us all the time. But what happens is that we get out of alignment. We get sideways with our beliefs and our attitudes. Or we get to this place where we are desperate and afraid and we want things to change. And so we come from fear in our spiritual work. Ernest Holmes, in his book, Practical Application of Science of Mind, 1958, said, therefore, if anyone asks the question, can I become a millionaire overnight simply by affirming that I have $1 million? The answer would be that nothing could be further from the truth. There are too many misguided people in dire circumstances who are affirming, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. In a certain sense, their affirmation is correct, but frequently they overlook the fundamental principle of science of mind, which is that spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. Too often they fail to realize that they have a definite part to play in the relationship between God and themselves. That's my favorite thing Ernest Holmes ever has said. I think the most profound and powerful thing to begin to contemplate as we're looking at this issue of abundance in any area. Spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. So it's not out there waiting to reward us with the goodies that we seek. We must provide an opening in our beingness, in consciousness, in energy, in joyfulness, in love, for it to be expressed so that it can move through us and we can feel the joyfulness of living our best life. I do want to have a money moment here. I want to talk briefly about money. Jim Carrey, the great actor, said, I think everyone should get rich and famous and do everything they dream so they can see that's not the answer. Yeah. So a lot of times he's saying we're going after the wrong thing. And so how is it that we can be if money feels like it's a lack for us? And there's an example that I love about money, and that is, there's a couple of them actually. There was a survey done many years ago where they said if we took all of the cash money on the planet and we split it up amongst every being who's alive right now, how much money would people have? And it was quite a bit of money at that time. Then they surveyed the economists and the social workers and psychologists and other experts and said, what do you think would happen if we did that? And they all came back with the same answer. Within a period of time, it would all be back to where it is right now. And that is because we make decisions about money based on our consciousness. We make decisions about what we're going to do in that realm based on our previous experiences, our beliefs about ourselves, our sense of worth and well-being, our spiritual sense of, oh, should I have all this money? This is so much. I'm too stressful about the responsibility of money. And so it would all come back to where it was. And so they were saying that the circulation of financial good has all to do with the person. And this is true in every realm of living. That to have more friends, isn't it interesting that right now, when there's more people on the planet than ever before, some of us are feeling a lack of companionship? When there are more opportunities to go out and be of service in the world through volunteering or working, or also opportunities, some of us are feeling a lack of, I don't know what to do with myself. That has all to do, we would say, in the realm of our abundance consciousness. Our abundance consciousness. And the joy that we can bring to those situations. In the story of money, one of my favorite stories, I love to teach the Prosperity Plus class also about abundance. And Mary Morrissey is the teacher of that class. We watch videos about her, and then we use the videos for our discussions and our work. And she tells a story in one of her videos about having the opportunity to get to go hear a giant in the New Thought movement many years ago named Raymond Charles Barker. Great author, speaker, and teacher. And she was fairly new, and she was so excited to go hear him speak. And there were about 1,000 people at this presentation. And she said they introduced him, and he came out, and he was wearing a really beautiful suit, and he had distinctive white hair. And he walked out, and he stood in front of the audience, and he just looked at everybody. And then he took his wallet out, and he pulled out this big wad of cash, and he fanned it out. And she said it was like a bunch of $100 bills. And he looked at them all, and he took the money, and he put it up to his face, and he went, I love money. And he kissed it. And then he put it back in his pocket. And she said she was aghast. She thought that was just horrible and crude and rude, and she thought it was just, she couldn't believe it, and she thought to herself, is this guy even spiritual that he loves money like that? And when he was done with this exercise, he looked around and he said, now how many of you were critical of what I just did? How many of you even thought, well, that guy's not even spiritual if he loves money? And then he said, and this really always hits me, he said, I want you to know, money heard you. He said, nothing comes to people who don't like it or love it. If you want more of something, you gotta love it. You gotta be joyful about it. And he said, if I were to bring out a little 3-year-old boy and pick him up and hold him up in front of you and then kiss him and say, this is my grandson. I just love my grandson. No one would be offended by that, right? So why are we so offended, defended about money? Oh, those telemarketers. Oh, those people call me. Oh, that church wants money. Oh, that minister's talking about money. Oh, they're money. Oh. If we don't love it and have an opportunity to say, oh, isn't that cool? Great. I love money. They're talking about money. I love meditation. They're talking about meditation. I love friendships and service and opportunities to be with people, and they're talking about being with people. I love my body, and they're talking about health and well-being. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about joyful abundance in this series. The invitation to step into the joy. Whatever your issue might be, wherever it is that you might be a little bit falling into, or a lot of falling into a sense of lack about that area of your life, the first thing is you gotta fall in love with that area. Even with all of its challenges, obstacles, to be able to say, whoa, I'm getting a great opportunity to grow here, and I just love it. Because I know that as I walk through this challenge, I'm going to create more of that good because I'm loving it. It's an opportunity to deepen into it. So the ultimate conclusion is that we can step into greater and greater abundance. The great author Alan Cohen says, the answer is to upgrade our goal from object to experience. And that's a part of what this first week is about. Stepping into loving the experience of creating more abundance, loving the opportunity that's before us to create more abundance, loving the conversation about abundance and every way that it shows up, loving it and being with it so that we can expand and be embraced by it and embrace it. So I have 3 G's for us to start with. One of them I've already mentioned. This week, it's an invitation. First G is God. To spend time in contemplation and noticing as we go through our life the abundant ways that God is showing up. One of the best ways to do this and have it be expansive is to notice it in nature. And this time of year is such a perfect time because the blooming flowers and the beautiful sky and, the full moon last night. Oh my gosh, so much beauty. And to recognize that all that beauty represents the self-givingness of God to all beings. To look for it. Dr. Marjorie used to say, look for the good and praise it. So my invitation is look for God and praise it this week. Be willing to see and remember that we are supplied so beautifully on this planet. God. The second G is gratitude. Gratitude. It's not just for Thanksgiving. It's for all year long. There have been study after study produced studying the brain on gratitude. And every study indicates that a grateful person's brain has synapses that fire off in ways that produce chemicals that just literally make them happier, more content, more joy-filled, more aware of the good of their life. There's a study that I loved reading from Harvard that said, in positive psychology research, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. So we know and hear about all the time the elements of gratitude. Gratitude journals, thank you notes, saying thank you to people. And this study even said that when we leave, like let's say today, you leave here and you loved the music from the band and Jennifer, and you don't get a chance to see any of those people in person and thank them. They said that even if you think about it mentally and leave going, I'm so grateful for that great music today, it has the same effect on your physiology. It's the willingness, even mentally, just to be grateful. So turn up the gratitude this week. And the last one, the last G, is generosity. Because the nature of God is the self-givingness of the universe, giving itself constantly through us, when we are generous, we are godlike. The tagline for my Principles of Financial Freedom class is duplicating the nature of God in our finances. And every time we are generous in any way, with our words, with our actions, with our gratitudes, with our support of anyone, we are duplicating the nature of God. And it feels so good, and it lifts us up, and it makes us feel and sense the truth of who we are. A few weeks ago, it was a Friday, which is generally my day off, and I was running around doing a whole bunch of personal errands. And it was also the week that young Richard Yarl got shot for going to the wrong house and ringing the wrong doorbell. And a number of other, in my mind, senseless shootings occurred that week like that. And I was trying to be very positive, but here's the space I was honestly in about all that. What the hell is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? And I was driving around running my errands, and I was kind of grumpy. I was like, what is wrong with people that this stuff is happening? I can't, it's unimaginable. I can't believe this is going on. And I was very activated, and I let myself be activated for a while. And then I thought, Michelle, I don't think this is helping the situation. You're just adding to the cloud of, and you're not being very friendly as you're going around doing all these errands. I would like to feel different. What could I do? And I know it will surprise you to know that I was in the drive-through line at the Starbucks, and shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Hardly ever happens, right, Sherry? Hardly. Yeah. Shh. She said daily. And so I was in the line, and I was kind of contemplating this, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and behind me, I could tell there was a woman in a car with a bunch of teenagers, and the teenagers were like, I could see everything going on, and I was like, wow, okay. And so all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to pay for all their drinks. And I got up to the counter, and the barista said, okay, here's your bill. And I said, okay, great, and I want to pay for that car behind me. And she looked at me and she said, why would you want to do that? And I said, I don't know. I feel like being generous, and I'd like to pay it forward today. And she said, okay, sounds good to me. So she charged me for that, and I drove off and went about my day. But I noticed something was lighter inside of me. Generosity, any way we can be generous, helping someone out, giving to the causes that we love and the places that we love through our service, our time, our treasure, our talents. Generosity doesn't just bless the being that we're generous to. It's a huge blessing to our hearts, and it's a huge way to get back into alignment with our abundant nature. To say, I am so abundant that I can give you some time right now. I am so abundant that I'm going to share my money with you. I am so abundant that I'm going to pause and hold your hand while you cry right now. I am so abundant that I'm going to share my gifts and talents with that organization that could really use them. I am so abundant is the core idea that generosity springs forth from. And that's how we awaken to joyful generosity. God, gratitude, generosity. We awaken to our abundant nature. This week, go out and practice it. Allow yourself to embrace joyful abundance. Let's pray. I invite our practitioner prayer partners, thank you, to stand with me. Practitioner prayer partners, join us for our opportunity to pray together and anchor this in as a community. Ooh, we are God in action. We can feel and sense the power and the presence of that infinite light that shines brightly and powerfully and joyfully through all creation. We allow ourselves to breathe in this truth right here and right now. Breathe in this reality of being. Breathe in our true nature and breathe it out. Indeed, with every breath in and breath out, we are experiencing the God presence within us, feeling the gratitude of our life and the generosity of breathing out and giving back to the plants and trees that shall benefit from our out-breath. We are living, being, walking experiences of the divine, living itself out in all of these ways. The abundant nature of life is ours. I claim this, I accept this, and I embrace this now for myself and all those within the sound of my voice. As we go forth, I declare that this is a week of joyful abundance for each one of us, a deepening, an opening, an expansive nature that has its way with us. And I'm so grateful for all the ways that it blesses us this day and every day. Thank you, life. We let this go. We let it be in absolute faith and trust. It is done. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Jennifer. Very beautiful. Yes. One tool that we want to offer today is this little card. It's called an Emma card. And Lindsay Portancaso on our team brought this to us. It's a Japanese tradition, and my husband Ken and I experienced this when we were in Japan. In both the Shinto and the Buddhist temples, they have these little Emma cards where you can write down your gratitudes and what you're grateful for or what you intend to have more of. And so we're making these available today. If you would like to, as you walk out the door, grab one from one of the ushers. They'll be also on the counters by the windows, and we're going to put them all up over the next few weeks so that we can all see what we're grateful for about our life, our church, and experience a deepening sense of gratitude. So please help yourself to one of these. Today online we have watching us on between YouTube and Facebook just under 300 people. We have somebody watching while flying to Boston. I hope you're not the pilot. I hope you're but we're glad you're watching. From Oklahoma, Nevada, Japan, Oregon, New Mexico, Arizona, Spain, and Germany. So great to have all those online viewers watching with us. Thank you. And we take time now to put this into practice as we consider giving into our tithes and offerings as the baskets go by, or however it is that you choose to give. I invite us all now to just have a sense of that presence of God that has blessed our lives and that we're in the flow. Be grateful for how we're in the flow and be generous, whether we're giving financially today or giving a blessing as the basket goes by. Let us be in the process of giving back, and let us say our affirmation together. So we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I am. And so it is.
Take me only for what I am. You've got a right to speak your mind. You've got to take a stand. No one has a right to say this is right or that is wrong. It isn't just one way. Find common ground, going between things That's Rob Lowe on piano.
Thank you, Jennifer Burnett. Thank you, Mile High Band. If you are new to our church, we're so glad you're here. If you're here in the sanctuary, we have this welcome center in the middle of our lobby, and we have these incredible welcome center volunteers. Where are you, volunteers? We so appreciate you and your service. And they are here to help guide you through this great place called Mile High. If you're watching online, give us a call, shoot us an email, or just explore our website to learn more. We're so grateful for our prayer practitioners making their way to the front of the stage. They are here to know an affirmative truth with you through the power of prayer. Jackie, you're doing a workshop directly after service, on service. We're so grateful for all you do to service here at Mile High. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
As you know, spiritual practice is intended to transform you. And what service does as a spiritual practice is it transforms you and it transforms the world around you. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And as Fred Rogers said, life is for service. And so I invite you, and we have snacks.
Well, that just sold them right there. Thank you, Jackie. We want to remind you about our wonderful classes that we're offering. We hope that you'll consider getting into a class with us. In the next 8 weeks, we're going to really do some great work together. And this Wednesday night, we have our Wednesday Night Insight that's going to be airing on Facebook. It's a great way to have a quick message. I think I'm on this Wednesday. I'm going to talk about guilt, letting go of guilt. So I'm going to solve that problem for good, okay? So let it go. And we invite you to stand now for our closing benediction and our peace song. And so we breathe in this very breath. We feel our feet firmly on the floor as we go forth to live this teaching, live this word out as we live our lives, our relationships, our workplaces. We know that we are blessed and we are a blessing. Thank you, life, and so it is.